We are live. Let's go. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Uh, I learned a little bit how to use Notion, and today I discovered a new tool to plan my day slash work, etc. And it's called Obsidian, but I still don't really know how to use it. It looks really cool. I can like mess with the attachments and everything. And it's like a little map here where everything is linked together. So for example, if I'm talking about, okay, so important set node, it has sample one. So if there's sample one in any of these other notes or documents, it will create a link here, and then I can see how it's linked. So for example, let's say I have a definition file. If I have a definition file and I'm working on something, well, I can just highlight it with these two brackets and it will automatically link to the definition file and it will take me to it. And here you would see something like a point and another, and they're linked, and that's pretty much how it works. It's really good. What I really like about it is that it shows you the link between the things you're studying. So in my case, I'll be taking physics, chemistry, biology, and math as a freshman, like the 101s, the introductory classes, and that would be really good. For example, to because it's gonna give me the possibility to link physics and math. For example, let's say differentiable equations, I'm gonna need them in mechanics, and I can link the differentiable equations part in the physics section with the differentiable equations in the math section, and I can like jump between the two, and that would be pretty easy. That would make the task easier. And yeah, that's it. But the downside is that I can't really have like a checklist or a box or something that I can use to to make a to-do list, and I'm not a big fan of that. It's not that I'm not a big fan of that. I would say I'm not a big fan of that if it existed, but it doesn't exist here. I mean, I think the only thing that I can do with these things is actually link the to-dos, so I can make like a new thing. It's called like a to-do list, and I have like a big thing that I have to do, and it has all these things that should be done. Yeah, that would be good to get an idea. But I think it would be better to have a plugin that has to-do lists. Okay, I heard that there are some plugins. Okay, to-do list, Obsidian plugin. Oh, so people can apparently plan their days in Obsidian.
Obsidian is a very flexible tool, and I recently discovered that it works very well for organizing and planning my day. This is a plugin that adds a calendar, allowing to create a note for each day by simply clicking on a date. In the options, you can set the number of words you want to write per day, and the plugin shows a dot indicating which days you have reached your goal. Another nice thing is that if any task is not complete for a day, an empty dot is shown, so at the beginning or end of the day, you can move these tasks to the next or delete them if they are no longer relevant. So every morning I create a new note using a template that I call New Day. I'm still improving this template from time to time, and this is very good in Obsidian. I have the freedom to easily modify my templates at any time. I start by filling in the things that I'm grateful for at the moment. This helps with on to-do list. It's like of doing these things
everyone, my name is Anton. As you go through you outline your tasks, this will be, now if you want to graduate from this particular type of way of putting your tasks either in a dedicated file that you use for all your tasks or putting your tasks in the daily notes, there is a plugin called the Daily Planner that you can enable. So if we go here and we enable this Daily Planner plugin, you can see here we go into the options that there are some options that you can do where you have it in file mode where it's going to create a file that's dedicated for that day. It begins with day planner, then it has the date behind it. So it's similar to the daily note type structure, but these are within its own folder as well. There's also a command mode, adding into the really dedicated to the day planner. You kind of see that. So put the name appropriately that I put in this. So if we go into the hotkey into your task list, also if we go into the hotkeys here, let's enable, go into planner here. We'll enable the hotkeys so that we can show the day planner timeline. And if we come back to the note here, we get this timeline in the right hand pane here. We can see here where the day planner timeline plugin is here on the side for us, and it outlines the activities in order. And when the time is close, and let's say if I was on right now, I would need to add in a new tag. Let me edit this here. Put 12:30. Now we can see here I just put a 12:30 time, and it has this red line here where it shows the current time that it is. Now is close, and it outlines the activities in order. And when the time is close, and let's say if I was on right now, I would need to add in a new tag. Let me edit this here. Put 12:30. Now we can see here I just put a 12:30 time, and it has this red line here where it shows the current time that it is in reference to your task. So you can get a view of what time it is right now and in a reference of where the current time is versus the task that you have outlined in your document. In here as well, I've mentioned in the options, the day planner options, you can zoom in the levels here. These levels pertain to that actual panel, that pane, where I can decrease or pane. There, I go back, change it here at the bottom, which tab Obsidian. It does lay.
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to give you some project info, so without wasting any time, let's get started. Obsidian is a mix of Markdown editor and knowledge base app. Basically, you can edit and view text files in Markdown format and also create links between these files. The app can be downloaded directly from the website, and it's currently available for Mac, Windows and Linux. There's a mobile app coming soon. Obsidian is completely free for personal use, with additional paid options that will be mentioned later in this video. There's a vibrant community with a forum and a Discord server, where you can get help, ask quick questions and get to know other Obsidian users. users. Creating a new vault. After completing the installation, you can create a new vault, which is the folder in your computer that will store the notes. To create a new note, you can use the button on the left or the keyboard shortcut Command N. Give it a name, a title, and just start writing. You can use folders for organization, and it supports emojis for naming if you like. Internal links. Create links by simply pressing the left bracket key twice, and a panel shows the notes that you can create a link to. External links. To create an external link, select any word, press Command key, and paste the link. Notes location. Right-click a note or folder and choose Show in System Explorer to see its location in your system. Word count. At the bottom of the screen is shown the word count of your current note and the number of characters. Preview and edit modes. Notes can be viewed in either edit mode or preview mode. In edit mode, you see a basic markdown visualization, but certain things like highlighting an image will only show up in preview mode. Linked panes. Panes can be linked together. With a note open in edit mode, hold Command and click the preview button at the top. Linked panes will be marked with a link icon, and any changes you make in the editor will show up in the preview in real time. Also, scrolling one will scroll the other. Keyboard shortcuts. Learn keyboard shortcuts to be more efficient. The ones I usually use the most are Command E to toggle between edit and preview mode, Command Enter to toggle a checkbox, and Command Shift F to search in all files. You can add custom hotkeys for the most commonly used commands. In the hotkey settings, click the asterisk arrow up and option arrow down to easily move lines up and down. Command palette. The command palette is a very useful way to access most of the Obsidian features. Type Command P, then simply type in the name of the command. Drag to rearrange panes. Panes can be rearranged by dragging. Grab the icon in the upper left corner to arrange them however you need. Header levels. To create a heading, add number signs in front of a word or phrase. The number of number signs you add should correspond to the heading level. For example, to create a heading level 3, add 3 number signs. You can add emphasis by making the text bold or italic. To bold text, add 2 asterisks or underscores before and after a word or phrase, or use Command B. To make a word italic, add 1 asterisk or underscore before and after the word, or use the Command I shortcut. Strike through. Any word wrapped with 2 tildes will appear crossed out. Use 2 equal signs to highlight text. The color of the highlight will be different according to the theme you are using. Lists can be created using dashes in front of the item. Hit Enter and a new item will be added. Lists can also have sub-items by pressing Tab key. An useful shortcut is Command left or right bracket to change the indentation. Numbered list. To create a numbered list, type 1, period, and the item. After typing, hit Enter and the next numbered item will be added. To-do list. To-do list can be easily created with dash, space, opening and closing brackets, and a space in the middle. Block quotes. We also have block quotes, which are great to highlight phrases. In preview mode, it looks like this. Create separation in your notes by using dividers. Just type at least 3 dashes and a horizontal line is added in preview mode. Sidebars can be collapsed to declutter the screen and help to focus only on writing. Export PDFs. After writing and format a note, it can be exported as a PDF in the More Options button. Light and dark mode. There's a light and or Mac, you deleting files. After change at the same time, but automatically saves your. You can vault if something is not clear. You can search and learn more about Obsidian features. Structure and organization. Don't try to structure everything if you're just starting out. Start at your own pace. Worry about structure later when you have more nodes. Home node. Set up your home node with links to nodes that you often need. I also like to add a link back to the home node to make navigation easier. Dragging nodes. You can drag a node and pin it to the sidebar for quick access. Tags. Use tags to group multiple nodes so they are easier to find. Clicking on any tag will activate that search. There's a plugin that you can enable to show a list of all tags that are used across all your nodes. Spaces are not allowed in tags, so if you want to have multiple words in a tag, you can use underscore or a dash. Tags can be nested. For example, you can create inbox to read, inbox processing, and it shows as a tree of tags in the sidebar. Templates. Use templates to save time. When you enable the plugin, the template button allows you to use a node as a basis for a new one. For example, I have a weekly review template with the questions I answer every week. So I create a new node, choose this template, and simply answer the questions following the structure. Toggle headers and lists. In the editor, so use template and, for example, you can create inbox to read, inbox processing, and it shows as a tree of tags in the sidebar. Templates. Use templates to save time. When you enable the plugin, the template button allows you to use a node as a basis for a new one. For example, I have a weekly review template with the questions I answer every week. So I create a new node, choose this template, and simply answer the questions following the structure. Toggle headers and lists. In the editor settings, there's an option to fold indents, making it easier to hide parts of the text. Backlinks pane. To keep track of all your links, the backlink pane shows how the current node is referenced in other nodes. There's a backlink count in the status bar. Presentations. Did you know that it's possible to do simple presentations right inside Obsidian? Just enable the core plugin called Slides and use 3 dashes to separate each slide. Then choose Start Presentation from the options. Random nodes. What if you could push a button and immediately be given an idea? You can enable the plugin called Random Node and press a button to show you a random node from your collection. Graph View. An impressive feature of Obsidian is the Graph View that we can access through this button on the left. It shows a graphical representation of all the links between the nodes. You can hover each node to highlight the connections and drag to rearrange the graph. I will show you more options about the graph view later in this video. Local graph. Use the local graph to see the connections near the open node. This view can be fixed to the sidebar. Search. The search is a powerful feature in Obsidian. In most cases, just by typing what you're looking for is enough to find it. It supports different options like search file names, tags, and more. It saves your most recent used search queries, and you can also copy the search results as a list. Starred nodes. If you enable the Starred Nodes plugin, you can star a search result to keep it close at hand. You can also star any other node and it will appear on the sidebar. Renaming nodes and links. To rename a node, change the text in the top bar. All links are automatically updated to the new name. A notification shows how many links have been updated. Attachments. Images can be easily added by dragging them to any node. The image file will be shown in the File Explorer. This also works for PDFs. If you have lots of images and attachments, a good idea is to create a folder and set it as the attachment folder. So next time a new attachment will automatically go to that folder. Daily notes. Many people like to write daily notes with everything relevant to that day. And this is easy to do in Obsidian. Just enable the Daily Notes plugin and a new button appears in the sidebar. This button creates a note. With the course of this plugin, it's possible to choose a folder, new note. I'm a visual person and I find that they help me to have context about notes because new note. Use emojis if you like. I like to use emojis because I'm a visual person and I find that they help me to have context about notes. Personally, I also think it looks more aesthetically pleasing. Community themes. Speaking of aesthetics, a very cool part of Obsidian is the themes created by the community. There are a lot of cool themes available and they completely change the look and feel of the app. If you know CSS, you can even create your own theme and share. So be aware of that. Sync notes by just typing the file name.
It's too long. It's boring.
So this is going to be a tutorial on how to take math notes with this program called Obsidian. So I'm just going to quickly talk about, I guess, the power rule. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to more options and split it vertically. Or a single thing, and then you could do that. You come down to the bottom and you do either a single thing, and then you could do double. It's gonna want to back one it again. Actually, hold on. Hello, everybody. Hello in the video. That's what space out. Hit space a lot, especially when you have to type out full something else derivative and play to your normal number pad on your computer.
Here is Shanghai, China's largest. $130.
房价大概在
Loud
And it's
player.
just also like so customizable. And up at the top,
Smart. Chinese apparently students organize their lives with Notion.
I have two to-do lists, tasks that are lists for today, and the other list is for weekly lists. And it's just also like so for today, and the other list is for weekly lists. And it's just also like so customizable. You can see like I put like GIFs of, you know, like some anime.
GIFs? You mean GIFs?
GIFs? I think it's GIFs, sorry.
No, it's GIFs.
And the way that I organize the list is by subject and by the priority and the type of assignment. I like to prioritize my assignments so like I don't spend too much time on one single task, so I can try and spread out my work evenly. When I put the tasks on the to-do list, they automatically sync up to this calendar view. I also have like my Google Calendar embedded because I kind of like to keep my personal life and like academic life separate to get, you know, like that work-life balance.
Okay, so you basically use a Google Calendar for your personal life and your Notion calendar for all your schoolwork.
Yeah, that's right. This calendar also has like a table view, so you can like view all of your tasks that you've done.
And this is synced all from your to-do.
Yeah.
How did this template help you organize your college application season?
I started this like during the summer, so I basically just tried to prevent it from cramming in essays last minute. Like this is like my events in March, so you can see like A lot of it is labeled and organized. And then on the bottom, I have like a space for long-term projects or long assignments that's going to take me like multiple days to complete. I didn't want to make it too over the top and complicated, because if I organized it like too complex, I'd be discouraged. So I just tried to make everything simple so it'd be easy to start and continue.
I think one of the main things about the other Notion videos is like you look at their template, you're like, damn, I'm never gonna use this. It's so complicated. There's like a billion pages. But yours is like basically like one page, you see everything, simple, practical, usable. And that is what I like in my life.
Yeah, for real.
Next, our guest is Sharia. He is a Stanford admit, and he's going to be studying.
I would like to study symbolic systems, which is like a Stanford interdisciplinary field.
What is your philosophy in organizing your life?
That's actually a really great question. When you're feeling a little demotivated, a little bit of structure and having a system in place really helps you get things done. So I use Notion to have all of those planners in one place.
Okay, let's dig into your Notion.
First of all, I have a nice little image of Stanford over here to remind me of the campus I have to go back to at some point in time after my gap year. But I basically have 4 key segments. I have like a bucket list downtown. So I have my year-based goals, and then I have goals that I would like to work to towards the end of the week, towards the end of the month, and then just like a daily checklist that I sort of keep. Honestly, my favorite portion is my year-based goals, because I think this is something I come back to a lot. I also have a small section where I talk about what success in this endeavor means. And then after that, I just have a relationships page. This is not the girls that I'm with. This is like professional relationships.
The important question is, do you schedule your dates in this page as well?
Absolutely not. The next one that I'd like to show you is reading, actually. So I thought that in my gap year, I definitely wanted to read more books. And I just started, to be honest, it's not been too long. But what I've done is I created like a simple Kanban board about different books that I would like to read. So let's just jump into this book, for example. I keep a track of the pages, keep track of the author. And then after that, I just have a small section called blinks. So there are a few things I do. In the first paragraph, I talk about, what I think the book gave me that I wasn't expecting. The thing I do is keeping a word list. It's just something that I use so that maybe someday I could grow my minuscule vocabulary. And then after that, I just capture some of the key insights from the book.
Do you plan on using this when you go into Stanford?
Yeah. So I think, like I said before, the idea of creating a system is that it's sustainable. I'll use the same format, but I'll just have different pieces of content coming through.
Let's go to the next section then.
So I kept a habit tracker as a test, whether I would actually follow it. Some parts of it worked out really well, some parts of it didn't work out really well. And just to give you a quick breakdown, I kept a selection of the date over here, very simple weekdays, and there are a few habits that I chose. So sleep, reading, SDD is basically my company. Body Temple, so in my gap year I picked up MMA, which is like mixed martial arts.
Oh, you do MMA? Right now I'm training Kung Fu.
Yeah. Oh, that's sick, that's sick.
The very next video after this, I'm gonna be training Shaolin Kung Fu.
That's crazy. Yo, best of luck for that. That's gonna be so cool. I'd love to see that. I had a lot of things. I think one thing I would recommend if you're doing a habit tracker is not to be too ambitious. As you can tell, I tried to shoot over the moon quite a few times. And then another thing I suggest you put in your gap year is also what success in that endeavor means for you.
Defining what the habit means is really important, because like it helps you to actually do it, because it's not so vague.
Exactly. And I actually do have a notebook where I write stuff from time to time.
So what do you write in your notebook that you don't write in your Notion?
I think clearing up my mind is definitely done a lot easier when I'm writing things down as opposed to just like typing. I've seen your channel for a long period of time, and just in case this video makes it seem like I'm extremely productive or intelligent, I am not. I can confirm I don't use these things 50% of the time, but the 50% of the time I do use it, I'm very grateful for it, which is why I always recommend students at least try this out once, because I do think that it can change your life in some way.
Our next guest is Thanuka, and he's a recent graduate from my university, UBC. He's smart because in college, he started a multi-million-dollar tech startup. After he graduated, he went full-time on that.
Let's go gang, baby!
Let's go! Do you use your Notion for your personal life and the business side as well?
Yeah, I do. So I basically use Notion to manage almost everything to do with my life.
I'm very excited to see it. Let's dig into it.
So you can see here, I have a little cartoon representation of me.
You look cute, man. You look cute.
Hafu, you gotta stop it, man. You make me blush on my first debut video for the Go Gang here. So my approach to Notion is basically to do it pretty minimally. I realize I really need it for 4 things. The most important of these is my weekly plan. So here's what one of them looks like. And basically the idea here is, if you're starting your week and then every day you're waking up and trying to decide what to do, it's like you're planning, then you're doing, then you're planning, then you're doing again, and it takes a lot of effort. So at some point, I just decided, what if I just plan out 90% of what I'm going to do for the week, and then for the rest of the week, I'm just like going through all the different pieces. So I kind of put out some of my priorities. I also have my habits, but really what I use Notion for on the weekly plans is basically mapping out on these Kanban boards every single thing I need to do in a day into these cards.
Wow, I really love this. It's like
single thing I need to do in a day into these cards.
Wow, I really love this. It's like a all-in-one template.
Yeah, I just look at this, I know what I need to do, and then I even have it in the right order I'm going to do it, so I don't even have to think about that. You can see here I get most things done, but you'll see here that I miss a couple here as well. But this is part of the review at the end, which is what did I actually do? How much did I get done? What did I miss? What should I think about? You can see here a lot of my reflection was around my diet and my exercise schedule that I just wanted to put down after seeing like, okay, I mostly did well, but I missed some stuff. So this is kind of the centerpiece of my personal Notion.
So like, is this linked to a calendar of some sort or no?
There's no calendar. The problem there is if you miss like a day or you're late by an hour or something, then the whole system gets screwed up. So the reason I don't have times here is because I know that if I can't do this, I'll just move it to Tuesday. So like usually Monday to Wednesday has a lot of stuff for me. And then Thursday, Friday, actually, when I initially set this up, has almost nothing. But then if I need extra overflow, I just move those cards in. So there's some nice flexibility about it that I really.
Wow, that's actually really genius. Because like one of the things that trips people up the most is like they miss a task on their to-do list for the day, and like it screws up everything else behind that.
Exactly. What you don't want is a fragile productivity system. A good system should have some flexibility built in so that you can adapt as things go right or go wrong.
Dude, that's a major key. I love that.
Anytime, Hafu, anytime.
Let's go on to the next one.
All right, so next up I have my journal. When there's a lot of stuff on my mind that gets kind of heavy and I want to dump it somewhere, that I have a place that I can do that and then look back on it. I really believe in like a more flexible approach. So this is kind of how I do things, which is it's a blank canvas. Anytime I want to dump something in, I can come, open up one of these docs, dump it in, and then I can go back for months or even years.
Right, so it's like a brain dump, basically.
Yeah, and I think also the big thing there is like, you don't always want to be filtering your thoughts. So having a place where it's okay to have unfiltered thoughts, I think is super important. Because if you don't, you're always screening it with other people's opinions or like mental ideas of how things should look.
Yeah, because like you don't have to try to categorize it. You just think. I love it. Next.
Okay, so the other parts are my podcast notes. So I have a podcast where I just interview people that have had kind of like unconventional winding paths in life.
What's it called?
It's called Wandering with Tanuka.
I'll leave it down in the description.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Okay, and then the last part is, Hafu, as you know, I enjoy studying Chinese. In a class, I'll like write down certain sentences, grammar, and things like that. So I write all of that down here. If you think about the parts of my life that are important, it's like everything is in like this little square here.
It makes you feel more organized.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many do you have right now?
6.
Okay, so 6 people are using this at the same time.
A little bit more because we have contractors too.
Gotcha.
Fully do in sort of like a company wiki. That just doesn't work. It's not scalable. So what we decided to do is we decided to put up a company wiki that has everything you need to know about Flix in sort of like one space. So you join, and then you can see exactly what you need to know.
I love this. It's when I worked at Lululemon before
we have a team meeting and then dual employee.
Like
we don't use like Trello and Asana. It's Notion fundraising. Do multiple Notion. But
it would take you to their sign.
Just checking the spelling. You want me? I want you, baby.
Hi, and welcome to this Mometrics tutoring session on how to write Cornell notes. Now, we're just going to start with a sheet of paper, like you would for any type of note-taking. It can be any type of sheet of paper, it might even have lines, and that's okay, as long as you have it large enough that you can take normal notes on. You're going to go ahead and take your sheet of paper, now divide it into 4 quadrants or sections, just like this. Make sure you have only a little bit at the top, enough for maybe 1 or 2 lines at most. On the side, you're going to have a couple inches for writing, maybe small notes, and on the bottom you're going to have about the same size. Now on the far right is going to be your largest section, and that's where most of your main notes are going to go. So keep that for later, okay? After you've created those 4 sections, go ahead and at the top title these notes. So whatever helps keep your mind or your notes organized, go ahead and put that information, whether it be your name, a class that you took, the subject of these notes, the date, whatever helps you, go ahead and do that. Subject of these notes, the date, whatever helps you, go ahead and do that. 1 or 2 lines about your name, the class that you took, or whatnot. You're going to go ahead and take your main notes. Now those go in the big section over on the right-hand side. Don't be afraid, however, to space those notes out. Kind of watching a video, no bulk of your, and now you're going to synthesize.
I don't like it. confused. I don't know if I should learn Notion or the other one. Yo.